This comes by way of a CNBC article. You may have seen it, depending on how deep you are in the TikTok algorithm. But they put out an article yesterday. China's young people are revenge saving, even as Gen Zers around the world are piling up debt. So some key points. It says revenge saving has become a trend on Chinese social media websites, with youth setting extreme monthly savings targets. Savings measures also include dining at community canteens, usually for the elderly, where fresh meals are sold at relatively cheap prices. Others are finding savings partners on social media, forming circles that ensure members stick with their savings goals. Okay, so I'm going to skip down about 3 lines. It says revenge saving has become a trend on Chinese social media websites. A 26-year-old username Little Zai. I don't think that's how you pronounce that, but forgive me for not being quite good on the Mandarin English thing. It is detailing her attempt to cap her monthly spending at just 300 Chinese yuan, which is equivalent to $41 a month, $41.28. With a recent video showing how she curtailed her daily meal expenses to just 10 yuan, $1.38 a day. Others are finding savings partners on social media, as we alluded to. These partners form saving circles that ensure its members stick with their goals. Savings measures also include, they have repeated it. Chinese youth have a revenge saving mentality, says China Market Research Group managing director. Unlike youths in the 2010s, who often spent more than they earn and borrowed money to buy fancy items like Gucci handbags and Apple iPhones, young Chinese have started saving more.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good. This is a stark contrast to the wider trend among the youth, particularly Gen Zers, those born between 1997 and 2012, who are reportedly financing their expenditures such as travel via debt. According to the Prosperity Index by Intuit, rather than cutting expenses to boost savings, 73% of Gen Zers in the U.S. say they would rather have a better quality of life than extra money in the bank, i.e. use debt.
Yeah, if you really want to revenge save, then exit the system.
True that.
Right. So I think this is all kind of setting the stage for, this alternative currency structure. We've talked about it on the pod quite a bit. Bitcoin, other forms of cryptocurrency, anything that is not fiat.
Right.
I think people are slowly realizing, hence how we started the podcast, right? Inflation, right? The only reason your real estate's going up, inflation. Cost of goods going up, inflation. Unless, of course, you have some sort of means to offset against inflation, or you're playing in a different currency structure. Right. And so, it's smart for them, but I think this is just the beginning of the quote unquote revenge. It's more of, I would say, instead of revenge, it's rebellion.
Yeah. Well, and it didn't go into why it's even coined revenge.
Just like against the system, against what the greater consumer economy is telling us to do. The greater world has been in a consumer economy since post-World War II. So,
yeah. Well, shout out to Lil Zai and the rest of them trying to get their money right, per se, or at least their spending habits right. Which, to be frank, even though sometimes it's in the business world of media, we kind of clown people that have a saver's mentality. There is something to be said, though, of not being a impulsive spender that has no grip on their emotions when they see something that they desire. And so
I think people are still spending money. They're just being more cautious about what they're spending money on.
Yeah. But there's many people that fancy entrepreneurship. And if you look at, their own personal finances per se, you would see that they struggle in that area. But that's something that I found that the successful entrepreneurs that I have the privilege of having relationships with and in my circle, they all have that ability to say, I got to make the right decision with this, even though I don't like this decision.
Right.
So,
yeah, people are still going to spend money. They're just starting to weigh the cost of like eating out, overhead cost of living, buying groceries. We saw.
Yeah.
So there are some solutions out there. A generation ago, my grandmother used to use coupons like crazy. And so I think you'll see a return of that. There's a couple great apps out there for that too. There's one right out of Denver, a tech company called, why is it escaping me? Their whole business is to help you source great coupons.
Not Groupon.
It's not Groupon. Okay. No. Oh gosh. I'll remember.
About to look it up. All right. So